welcome back to the second quarter of the Bobby Dupre Show. We do it in 4 quarters, and my sidekick here, I want to make sure he gets paid this quarter.
Yeah,
I failed to introduce him, so no pay. Okay, you understand that?
Killing me here.
You want to stay on the program? Okay,
I'm trying to make a living, you
know. We were talking about HBPA
Yes.
and an election that's very important because the HBBA plays a big part in the horseman's benefits and the horseman's correct sending of all the money that's paid out to the winners of the races. All the money runs through between $900 and $100 million, between $90 million and $100 million per year, depending on the volume of business. And racing is you know, having some little problems, and we're having some little problems with a couple of the tracks in Louisiana Downs. We hear different stories. The purses are down. That's not a good signal. And over in New Orleans at the fairgrounds,
there's some maintenance issues there.
The maintenance issue is the big problem there. Particularly on the turf course.
Looks like there's a dual problem in that they like to have band-type events with people standing in the infield.
Well, they have the big Festival International, which is taking place probably right now. It starts this weekend, maybe.
Jazz and Blues in New Orleans. Yeah, Festival's Lafayette.
Okay, Lafayette.
Right.
Okay, so the big,
right.
And they use the
fairgrounds.
The fairgrounds, all the infield.
Correct.
And they just tie it up.
And they've cut back on the drain. There were some ponds in the middle to drain it, and they've cut back on the area of the ponds, so maybe it's not draining as well.
Well, the whole, they claim
it's low.
That it sank.
Yeah.
And New Orleans is gradually sinking if you don't have pilings. All your buildings, your homes, everything has to be built on pilings. But anyhow, there's an election for president, very important position. The 5 owners, directors were elected a couple of weeks ago, and the 5 trainer directors were elected the same time. But there was a runoff, there is a runoff between Bernard Chatters and Sam Bro, both apparently well known in the horse industry. Sam is from the New Iberia, Lafayette area. Cajun country, I guess you could say. And Bernard Chatters lives in the Vinton, Lake Charles area, educated and brought up in the New Orleans area. So they both have areas of a lot of
base, as they say.
Yeah,
natural base in
that's
politics.
correct. And they were within, I think, 6 votes of each other the first runoff. So there was no winner.
Right.
No one had that 50% plus one that I mentioned on the first quarter of the program. So good luck to those 2, and please, those have to be in the post office box by the 28th, and it's today the program is on the 17th, so you only have 11 days, and you need to mail it in at least 2 days ahead of that to make sure it gets there for the 28th of April. So give it 3 days would be even safer because of different things happening in the mail service.
Time's a waste.
Before we get to our sponsors, which let's not forget, Ms. Fawn Futrell every year sends us a reminder that the annual Easter sunrise service at 7 a.m. is going to be Easter Sunday, April the 20th, at the Tesh Park in Port Barre, Louisiana, right behind Bork's store on Saison Street, which is the main drag there. Service is sponsored by the area churches, and all pastors are urged to join in this movement. Bring your own seating, and in case of rain, the service will be moved to the New Life Assembly and
across from King's Truck Stop.
That's Ms. Fawn Futrell. Thank you very much, and may y'all have good weather, and may it be held outside, and bring your seating, please.
How about some sponsors? Dixie Storage, all your storage needs, personal and commercial. You need climate-controlled units, little bitty units to plug in your RV and boat stuff in. They've got that for you. They've got climate control. They've got well-lit, well-secured, good concrete, easy to park, easy to get to, 24/7 locations throughout St. Leonard Parish and Port Barre, Appalachia, and Washington. They've got railroad spur access at the facility in Port Barre. They can handle your inventory control if you're a larger company that wants to have all your inventory in their warehouses. 80,000 square feet, I understand. They've got more. They've got a new potential warehouse coming up in Opelousas that they're working on. You and I got to talk about that. If you need more warehouse space, Joey is growing it, Doucette over there. And they've also got A-plus glass at locations in Lafayette and in Opelousas as well for all your glass needs. If it's your home, if it's your business, if it's your car, anything from the smallest car to the biggest 18-wheeler, they can do all your glass and inspections as well.
Investor Bank. Investor Bank is a relatively new bank in the Lafayette area. It is the home office is over in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Started probably within the last 10 years. And the way we got involved, Joe, Fred, J.E. and I got involved is we had invested small amounts. Probably J.E. had to put up more because he's on the board of directors of the Community Business Bank. That was in the Gonzales area. And they have sold and merged with Investor, and J.E. was the one of two, I think, board members that were kept on and a part of Investor Bank, and they've opened up at 4004 Ambassador Caffrey Parkway in Lafayette, and they've got some good certificates of deposit, CDs. They have an 18-month CD that'll pay 0.85%. You might not think that's a lot, but if you have some CDs, you probably are getting anywhere from 0.2 to maybe 0.4. I don't know of anybody paying 0.5 even, but there might be out there. But Investor Bank, and then the 12-month is 0.70 and 9 months is 0.65. So they are needing money because they're growing rather quickly, so they need this money, and they can pay a little bit more because they're loaning it right back out. So if you, like most of us that have some CDs at our age, we better have a little bit of money in CDs and in stocks and bonds too, don't get me wrong, but CDs, you can get that money rather quickly. Small penalty if you take it out, but you probably borrow against it for almost nothing. So anyhow, a good thought if you need to get a little bit more interest on your money.
Piggly Wiggly, 2 locations in Opelousas, 1 location in Simsport. If you're looking for groceries, go by the Pig. And of course, it's Easter week this week. You know, we're right here. Good Friday is Friday. Maybe you want to pick up some crawfish tails, cook a little crawfish for the family on Friday evening. Easter Sunday, you're going to want to pock eggs. You're going to go buy your eggs over at the Piggly Wiggly, and they got all the egg dyes, all the stuff you need, roasts, and all the stuff you might want to cook for your whole entire family. And maybe you got families coming in just for Easter and want to go back and want to bring some good Cajun season, pre-season roasts, pre-season stuffed chickens. They've got all that there at the Piggly Wiggly with 1 location, Simsport, 2 in Opelousas. The pig knows best.
Something else happening in the Lafayette area is the Schumacher Group. The Schumacher Group was founded by William, better known as Kip Schumacher, and in Opelousas, Louisiana, I might add, and moved over to Lafayette. And he has recently brought in Rick DeMauro, has been named the Chief Executive Officer of the Schumacher Group, and Kip will remain as executive chairman of the board. So a little change there. They provide emergency services throughout the South and maybe even other parts of the country. But I know they had really expanded very quickly throughout the South, and that's emergency physician service.
How about this photo, Matt, if you want to show this for us? It's from American Legion Post 45. You hit that button? You got it? Bring it up. Full screen. There we are at their recent meeting. They recognized 4 outstanding individuals from the community. They pictured from the left, we got Jerome Godet, who was Citizen of the Year. Of course, he's an architect, Mr. Jerome. And then we've got Ken Thibodeau, who's with Post 45. He's the Law and Order Chairman. We've got Miss Gina Labe, who was named Educator of the Year. We got Captain Lindsay Saucier, who's Firefighter of the Year. We've got Private First Class Romalis Curtis, who was the Police Officer of the Year. And then we've got the 7th District Commander, Rodney Holliday, and on to his right is our good friend, Bob Gossman, who's the commander of Post 45. I want to congratulate them, thank the American Legion, and let's send our prayers out. Ken Thibodeau, who does so much for the community, his wife, Barbara, has had a stroke, some health problems where she's going through rehab and everything to come back. I want to remember them in our prayers. If you see Kenneth around the palace and all around, give him a heads up. And I ran into George Stute, who worked for many, many years with the phone company, of course, this George Stute Jr. His wife has been ill for some years. He's been helping to take care of her. I want to keep her in our prayers and George as well.
I was looking through the sports section of the Daily World a few days back, and I don't know what made me, it looked like I recognized the person in the picture, and sure enough, I did, Amelia Pete. And of course, that's Darla and Scott Pete's young daughter. Absolutely. And she's part of the Opelousas Catholic female shortstop softball team. Yeah. OC Lady Vikings are primed for the postseason run. Good luck to you all.
I saw her last night. They had the OC Passion Play for Easter, and I understand they're going to sell CDs of the music and all the acting that was going on. So you can contact OC. They'll be peddling CDs. If you got family members that maybe are there and you want to hear some of the good music with John and Gotti from Memphis playing. Very good stuff.
They said the USA Today had a heading on the little section that they use in the Daily Advertiser. It's 2 words: Letterman's retiring. And of course, they've already chosen his successor, Mr. Colbert.
Stephen Colbert.
And so that's a hot fight for ratings at that time of the night, right after the evening news.
They want to go younger, but I don't know how much younger he is. He's much older than the other guys on the other stations. So we're going to see. They got the 2 Jimmys on the other stations. So we'll see how that works. But he's a sharp guy.
That was Charles Osgood. No, it's Osgood.
Osgood.
On CBS Sunday Morning. And they were talking about Pullman train travel. And very, very interesting. They've taken some Pullman cars that had just been left for deterioration to take over. And they've reconditioned them and remodeled them and made them first-class travel. And you can take that ride from New Orleans to Chicago, and you can have your own sleeping quarters, I mean your meals, everything. And they built so that you can, now that you can look on the outside and see all the beautiful sceneries that you'll go across when you pass through the plains of, I guess, Arkansas and Mississippi and Tennessee and Nebraska and, you know, all the way up to Chicago.
They call that the City of New Orleans Trail is what they call that.
And they're going to work on having one when you get to Chicago, you build a transfer and go up to Washington, D.C. Really? They're working on that leg of it. It's really coming in real good. And the Ford Mustang, lots of articles, what is it, Jackson Barrett auction, high-priced vehicles, low-priced vehicles, all types of vehicles. They spoke a lot about the 50th anniversary of the Ford Mustang. The cost, and it was just about, you had very little to choose accessories. Whatever it came with, you got it. Right. And it was $2,868. And they had planned on manufacturing 100,000, and they ended up selling over 1 million of them that first year.
We will take one break, and of course, don't forget the guy involved with the Mustang at Ford Motor, Lee Iacocca. How's that for a stat? We'll see you folks the other side in 1 minute.
Chrysler Motors later.